my goodness, Friday morning, good morning, Mary Beth.
Good morning, Tina.
That's my little song to you, my Friday morning song.
I always need a song, honey. I always need a song.
You know what? I thought this morning in our Friday backpack, welcome everybody to our Friday backpack, where we give you all the seemingly random things you don't need, but you really do need in your writer's backpack to create a life of writing. I thought we would talk about editing because we've spent so much time about getting words on the page. And I know that often, well, all the writers that we work with really have a lot of energy in their head about editing. And so I thought we'd start with that because you're an editor. And there's lots of that means a lot of things.
Okay. So first I'm going to say this.
Okay.
I think when we are editing our own work, I'm not saying don't do it. I think it's important. You need to reread your own work, but you're not your own best editor.
Tell me more about that. That's a big one. Yep.
I just think that you are going to have you can't get over your own blind spots. That's why you should always be handing your work over to other people to read if you're ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, if I could just offer people one editing tool or tip that I think is really useful when you're editing your own work, but also when you're editing other people's work, is just playing the game of shorten that sentence. And of course, not every sentence should be shortened. Some, really long sentences can be great too. They serve a purpose, but sometimes those sentences that just feel like, oh my God, my brain just exploded, or even just regular sentences, like how can I say that more succinctly or more directly? And I actually, it's funny, I just saw a little like Grammarly ad where it gave an example of that. And, sometimes the answer is really simple and that's awesome. But then sometimes it makes you rethink the whole thing you were trying to say. And in that, I think that that's where I think editing can actually be a real jumping off point for your own writing, because it's like, I was saying something here. It can make you realize maybe you didn't totally make sense, or you didn't express yourself fully. So you got caught in the trap of trying to jam a big idea into one sentence. Or you are rushing through something. You just see the places by cleaning up your writing, you can see the places that deserve more attention.
So what's really cool about what you're doing here is not only are you giving us a tool about editing, which is play the game, shorten that sentence, but you're also, by editing, you're teaching us more about how to take your writing further. Because what I'm hearing you say is that by rereading your stuff and playing the shorten the sentence game, it's going to open up the places where maybe you didn't go far enough, or maybe you didn't get clear enough. And in chasing the clarity, it actually opens up more writing, or better meaning more communicative. Like you're actually giving us writing skills through the process of editing. And I think that, to me, that's the coolest part about editing, is that editing isn't polishing. Polishing is, like buffing the car, right? Is what we call the putting out the cushions on the couch, right? Getting the right interior decorating, right? Editing is actually another version of telling your story.
Yeah. Yeah. Editing and polishing are so far apart. Like one thing I am definitely not is the polisher. Okay. Don't ask me to polish your work.
That is also really important, because I know when you and I first met, I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that copy editing is different from polishing, even though polishing isn't a term that's used in writing. We just use it. And it's also not the same as, a development edit, like content editing. Like there's all these different stages of editing. And it's what I think is cool about it is, it's just like the writing process. Like there's 5 drafts. Well, we use a 5 draft structure. There's many drafts. You can have 92 drafts, whatever, but we tend to follow a 5 draft structure. But there's also like multiple editing structures after, right? Which is so cool. And for the writer, you will have your dance with that. I've learned many things from working with you. And as I remember it was just this year that I said to you, oh my God, Mary Beth, like, shit, like you've got to edit my book. Mm. And up until that point, I actually just thought that I would. I was like, no, you're not. But I want to name that for any writer here listening, who's never experienced that before. Like we have done that for some of our clients. So now I've been on that side. And but it feels scary to me as the author to give my blood, sweat, and tears to somebody who didn't spend, the last 4 years of her life writing my book and going, hey, will you make this sound? Will you take care of this? That's really scary. And I get that for everyone listening.
It's like going to the doctor, right? A little bit, right? Like you need to trust that person. Because you might get some scary news. No, I don't think. I also think there is a level at which you need to look at your editor and the red marks they put on your page as they're teaching you something about your
wow.
Right? It's not like, oh, your work is crap because I made 1,000 edits in it. Like that's normal, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's always great to work with new editors to see the new kinds of like the new, like what emerges from your writing as it undergoes a different kind of scrutiny from a different set of eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I think editors are crucial to growing as a writer.
Wow. That's again where you and I are so on opposite sides. I don't disagree with you at all, but I can see our, again, like you, because you look at things from the outside in and I look from the inside out, there's always learning for you from the outside in, right? So I totally see that. Whereas, and so I can borrow your eyeglasses for that because when I think about giving my work to an editor, because I work from the inside out, I'm like, my brain kind of frazzles a little bit. And I'm like, but they don't get me on the inside. Right. But if I've done my job as a writer, they will get me from the inside. Yeah. Cool. Well, I don't think we need to go much further than this. I think I would open up conversation around editing here, what comes up for you as a writer, and what, maybe what you've done, and any good, bad, the ugly experiences you've had with editors. Because I will say, find the editor that one isn't going to collude with you, right? Put your blinders on them. But is someone who gets you. Like I know that when I hand my stuff to Mary Beth, she gets me, she gets the rhythm that I write in, and she's going to help me even do what I do in a clearer way. Yeah. All right. Anything else, Mary Beth?
Got nothing.
I got it. Okay. We will be back in a few minutes for our Friday morning writing group. Happy Friday.